Okay, so let's get started. We're going to be taking a look in this training module at how to do the download process for our VCM software suite. Now, the VCM software suite is going to be what we use in our training course here to do all the calibrating, tuning, and data logging for our Gen 3 vehicles. So if you're new to HP Tuners, this is going to be the very first step that you have to take in order to get started to get the software onto your laptops. Let's take a look at how we're going to do this. It's pretty simple. I'm on HP Tuners' main site. We can see up here, hptuners.com. The next thing we're going to do is go into our downloads area right here. Now, at the time of filming, their website has this particular layout. In the future, they may change their website. You're going to be looking for the download link. Typically, it's going to be found up here at the top. So I'm going to go and click on downloads. Now here, we're going to wait a second until we load the new page, and we'll find that we have a couple different options for downloads. We see download VCM Live. This is for the HP Tuners standalone system. This is not going to be what we use for our Gen 3 course. And then we come down here a little bit further and we have two additional options. We see download VCM Suite, latest stable version, and then we also see download VCM Suite beta version. Now the beta version is what we're going to need to use for our Gen 3 vehicles. Even though it shows beta and it's technically, they're saying it's not stable, I've used the beta without issues for years now, so I'm going to go and download the beta version. Let's go ahead and click on this particular link, and it's going to show up here. It's going to tell you that the beta software version shouldn't be used in a live production environment, on and on and on. Make sure you understand the risks. We're going to say OK right here. And we can see the download is starting to download up at the top here. We're going to wait for that to finish. Okay, so now the download has been completed. I'm going to go here to the open file option and allow that to open up the file. We can see here, welcome to the setups for the VCM Suite beta, and this is going to be the particular version number that we're downloading for this software suite. To note here, they put out an extreme amount of updates a day. So I can see sometimes if you're downloading in the morning and you watch the numbers and you download in the afternoon, you can see as many as 20, 30, 40 different updates throughout the day. Now, you don't need to go in and constantly update and download the software, but just be aware that they do put out a lot of updates because this beta software is what's used across all of the different platforms that HP Tuners supports. So all of the different departments within HP Tuners, so for example, Ford department or GM department, or might be the Polaris tuning or Subaru tuning, if there's any updates that happen, it gets pushed into a new software version that you can download. So if you're working with, let's say, HP Tuner support and you're missing a logging channel, if you're missing some kind of pertinent table in your calibration file and you request it to be added, you may be directed to go in and download a new software suite here. So just be aware that they're constantly pushing updates every day, and as many as 20, 30, 40 updates in a given time. So I usually download every probably few weeks just to make sure that I have something relevant and current, just to make sure that I have everything kind of in order with the software. But again, you don't need to do it every day. All right, let's go in here and click next. It's going to tell me to go and check all the terms of service. I'm going to say I accept them. Click next here. I've read and I agree to the general terms and conditions. That's fine. Let's click next here. And this is going to show me where it's going to download the software suite to. So we can see C drive, program files, HP Tuners, VCM Suite beta. Now you can actually download, just for perspective here, you can download the stable version in addition to the beta and have those located on your laptop. And when you're going in and trying to open up one or the other, you're able to open up independently of each other. So you could download the beta if you want to use that and download the normal non-beta software suite. Again, they'll install themselves in different locations. This is where it's installing the folder for the software. Let's click next here. And then we'll do install. Now it's going to go through the process here and do the installation. Let's just be patient here. Okay, it's going to ask me, do you want this app to make changes to your device? I'm going to say yes right here. Allow that to start to download and finish the installation process. Okay, so now it has completed the installation of our VCM software beta. Let's go here and click finish. And then what we can do here to open up the software, if we actually minimize this and go to the desktop, I'm on Windows 10 on this particular laptop. Windows 11 will function the similar way. We're going to go down to our search bar here, and I can type in VCM, and then we can see here, type in editor. Now, when we do this, we can type in VCM editor. If you have just the beta version installed on your laptop, it'll go ahead and just open up that beta version. But if you have both the non-beta and the beta version, you have to be specific of which one you want to actually open. So right now I'm typing in VCM Editor, and then I have to put space parentheses, and then beta, we can see it populates right here, and we can open up the editor software. So the editor software, we're gonna open this up and just take a quick glance through it. This is where we do the calibrating and tuning changes. We flash and read from our engine control modules, transmission control modules. So we wanna go ahead and open that up. We definitely wanna have access to this. Give that a second, it should open up here. All right, we can see it's going to give me a beta software warning. We'll click OK. So now we have our VCM Editor software open. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do here is open up our VCM Scanner software. The Scanner software is going to allow us to do data analysis, data capture. We can also look into things like what check engine lights on. We can erase the codes. We can check our readiness monitors. We can reset adaptive trims in our engine control module and transmission control module. So it's another very powerful software suite. So when you're calibrating and tuning, you're going to be working in both the editor and the scanner software. So we're going to type in right down here below to populate and bring up our scanner software, VCM space scanner. Now here, again, if you have just the beta version installed on your laptop, as soon as you type that in, you should be able to click on the scanner software. If you have both the non-beta and beta versions, then you'll have to specify, and you'll have to actually go space, parentheses, and then beta, and then it would populate. And you can go ahead and click on this and allow that to open. So let's give that a second, allow that to open up. Okay, it's gonna give us the same warning here, beta software warning. We're gonna click OK. And now we have both the editor and scanner software open. Let's go and just quickly take a look at our editor, and we'll pop back in here to our scanner and talk about a few things. We're gonna have, again, a bunch of tutorials looking at both software suites so we get familiar with how to use them, all the features and functions that are found within each software suite. So let's go in here and let's jump into our editor. So in our editor here, we have the ability to read and write to our engine control module, transmission control module. We can see up at the top here, there is going to be a read vehicle and a write vehicle. Right now, I am actually not connected to the vehicle. If I was, I would be able to do a read, which is going to read the file that's in the engine control module, transmission control module out. We can save the file, and then I can make editing and tuning changes, popping it into my windows up here. This brings me to the various sections for editing and calibrating. So this is going to give me access to essentially all the data that's stored in the engine control module that's allowing things to function and run your engine and transmission. Now, once I make the editing changes up here, then I'm able to go here and click the write vehicle button. That allows me to write the file changes back to the engine and transmission control module so that essentially I'm recalibrating things. And then once we're making our changes and making editing updates, we can go into our scanner, and in here we can connect to the vehicle and we can start to record. So we can see right here, start scanning, a little button that's going to allow us to record the data. And the data is going to be what we have here in terms of our channels. These are called PID channels. These are the logging channels we're going to be working with. Then we also find in our VCM Scanner software, we have our table overlays. So this allows us to mimic tables that are found in our calibration file, and it allows us to overlay data to do the tuning process. And down below here, we have chart versus time. The chart versus time allows us to graphically plot the data for further data analysis. So both software, the scanner and the editor, are used in conjunction with each other in order to do the tuning process. So it's going to be pretty straightforward and simple once you see how everything's going to be going kind of the workflow and what we need to do here. And we're going to cover that extensively, but now we have successfully downloaded and installed our VCM Editor and Scanner software, and we're ready to begin our Gen 3 training course. That's going to be where we wrap it up here. Any comment or questions on anything we cover in this training tutorial, post your comment or questions into the video comment section or into the private forum. I'll see you guys now in our next training tutorial. Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.